Peace, peace, family. So now we get to the situation with Alpo being murdered, and people making 1,000 videos about honor and the code of the streets and all these things. And I made a video a couple days ago when it first happened, and I told everybody that there was no honor, there was no code, there was no respect. The streets is what it is, the devil's playground. Back in the day, you guys have been lied to. You had people being set up by their baby mamas, brothers, all kinds of stuff when you're dealing with big money, man. Back in those days, we're gonna go and listen to a story from AZ, who was at one time friends with Rich Porter and Alpo, and how in 1987 he was stuck up and shot in the head, in the neck, shot multiple times. 3 people in the home was killed. Man, it was just crazy. But he was ridiculed because he actually told the police who shot him while he was on his deathbed, and just so happened he didn't die. But we're gonna listen to the story, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna talk about some other things. So let's listen to AZ in his own words.
And I guess I got shot 9 times, twice in the head, one in the neck, one in the shoulder, and the rest was in the leg. My leg got broke from the gunshot wound. So when I came back into the body, I got up off the floor, walked into the bedroom and seen all the bodies on the floor. And I felt guilty, man. I felt like it was my fault, like, damn, man. So I climbed in the bed, put the covers over me, my brother. And I just wanted to die, man. I wanted to wake up dead. Next thing you know, I woke up, I'm in the hospital with my moms and my sister and my girl over me saying, yo, who did this? Who did this? And that's how that happened, bro. I knew, the cat, Kevin Clark, I knew it was him. To this day, I regret me knowing their voice, because I felt like if I didn't know their voice, maybe they wouldn't have shot everybody. Maybe, but I recognized him and trying to talk to him like, yo, Kev, what you doing, man? That's when he flipped out. Don't say my fucking name, you know what I mean? That's when he started barking out, snatched the mask off. Most definitely, but all right, let me put it like this. How would I put it? After that happened, when they asking me, my sisters and they all ask me, who did this, who did this, who did this? When I'm in the hospital, this is how the police approach me. I'm in the hospital, the doctor's trying to save me, the police come, the detectives, and I think a Bronx DA was with them. Because it was a serious situation, man. 5 people found shot up in the Bronx. So when they came in, I'm halfway alive and half dead, man. But the doctors is like telling him we need to try to save him right now. I would call the district attorney or whoever he was. We need 5 minutes alone with him. This is what they told the doctors, and my family. Trying to recall. So the doctor said, I don't think he had 5 minutes. Huh? But they said, well, we need those 5 minutes. So my family and the doctors had to leave out the room. Family crying, screaming. They had to listen to the law. So they said, well, okay, we're going to put this tape recorder on your chest. Do you recognize this as a tape recorder? I'm like, yes. So they asked me, questions like, who's the president? I think Reagan was the president at that time. I said, Ronald Reagan. You know what I mean? And then, you see what this is? A pencil. Okay, he's conscious. Was you present at 1295, the Grand Concourse at a certain time, blah, 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 blah? Yes. You feel me? Who was you with? They're all dead, right? You're the only one that could, you're dying, right? I said, now what do? I don't know the other 2 cats. You feel me? So who shot you? And I was like, Kevin. You feel me? It was like, Kevin who? I said, my sister's boyfriend. I didn't really think I knew his last name at that time. Did he act alone? I said, no, he had 2 others with him. Did he know what he shot you with? What type of gun? I said, I don't know, man. And then it seemed like my spirit again left my body, man. And now I could look and see from a spiritual perspective, like, I'm dead. So now they asking me questions and I'm not answering. They grabbed my pulse and they took the tape recorder, and like, he's out of here, and left. As soon as they left, seemed like my spirit went back into my body. The doctor came, grabbed me. He's like, you okay? I said, yeah. It's like if I didn't, my spirit, it's like God saved me, bro. Not just from getting shot, but from the questioning, it's deep, man. He didn't get scooped up right after that. I think he was on the run, and he wound up turning himself in somewhere in Philly. He wound up telling on the other 2 cats. I think he told the police he was there, but he didn't do no shooting. The police, they took 3 different bullets out of me and took different bullets out of the rest of them. So they basically said, okay, well, you feel me? You didn't act, somebody had 2 guns. Repercussions physically, no. But verbally, yes, because you hear little things, and the person that you hear it from, that's a part of you, that hurts more so than cats that you don't even give a fuck, you don't even know. My situation was that situation, and I don't regret my situation. You understand? They tried to murder me, and they had no reason to do that, under no circumstance. They just didn't try to take my life, but 5 other people, man. Y'all, cold-blooded murders for what? Anything you would have asked me for, I would have gave it to you. So there was no reason for that. And to me, now people might feel another way. I could have paid someone to retaliate. Cash was coming all day. You understand? So at the end of the day, I don't care what no one says. And to me, I did not snitch on Rich. I did not snitch on Alpo or anybody, Lulu. I didn't want to take the stand, personally speaking. You feel me? But my lawyer advised me to do it because they're going to be on you afterwards. You're already on the radar now. Who is this fucking kid? You understand? Because when I got shot, it was like 1,000 people or more at the hospital. Outside, like. So that raises curiosity. My lawyer advised me to like, yo, you should, but this is what I'm gonna have them do. I'm gonna have them grant you immunity. Anything that they question you about on the stand cannot be used against you from this point on back. So go ahead, because, they really wanted to know, these dudes. And one of the cats that shot me, this is real talk, was one of the cats that they first brought up, juveniles could get locked up when they're 15. He was one of those dudes. He did his time and he came home and he did this situation, did this. So that's what they was really trying to implicate, the reason why they put this type of people away. Good movie. Good movie, man. Excellent cast. Everybody played their role to perfection. Cameron did a good role playing Alpo. Wood Harris played a good role playing me. Lulu, good role, good movie, man. But at the end of the film, why do you make it look like I was wearing a wire and told on Alpo? So here I present a film to them, Trap, to try to save a generation. Like, wake up, man. Why do y'all destroy my character to the streets, that who I'm trying to talk to make it look like I was a snitch? So that they can't hear the message. Because who want to listen to a snitch? So that's when I, question, who are these guys? Maybe they're all one, trying to solidify what they're doing is right and we're wrong.
So you get a chance to hear, you guys get a chance to hear AZ in his own words. You know, AZ was, had become a big time drug dealer in a Harlem scene around at 21 years old, around 85. And he had a good run. He was making big money, man, up to about 100,000 a week because he got in the beginning. He was a young guy making big money, man, had a good team around him. But during that time, you had a lot of killers and guerrillas around. Guys like Mr. Clark and Henry, the Bolden brothers. They was robbing everything moving, robbing and killing everything moving. Until a couple of them met demise, one in Baltimore, another one in New York City. The Bolden brothers was no joke. So now he has a baby by one of his shooters' sister. Like he said, they had no reason to do that. But this is the time that we live in. This is the era that we live in. Yeah, I got the scars, man. This is the era that we live in. We live it in a time. We live it in a time where, man, listen, people are willing to do anything. Broke dudes take chances. There was dudes' moms was killed. Kids was kidnapped. I told y'all the little Donnell story. Man, I can come back down to Philly, man. Kids was caught in the crossfire, kidnapped from schools. All kinds of stuff. Moms was kidnapped, held for ransom. Brothers put in trunks. There was no loyalty and honor in the game. Stop listening to these fucking lying people or people that never took part in the game that got an opinion on shit. This shit is a lie. When 85% of these dudes got locked up, they took deals. When they grabbed your mom and your sister and your daddy and everything, some dudes may have took their time and mom did some time, but a lot of guys took deals so their mothers and their sisters can get out or get less time. That's the way this shit went, man. This stuff that they feeding y'all is a lie, man. It's a lie. AZ took part in the street thing, and he wasn't a killer. He was a drug dealer. It was a time where you can make a lot of money selling drugs, but the ill killers and guerrillas is out too. So a lot of people are sensationalizing this Alpo situation, and they're saying the only people that really should have really opinion on it is Rich Porter's family. And those that may have been affected by Alpo's misdeeds. But all you other people, man, you don't know shit about that era. You should shut up, man. You should shut up. Because a lot of y'all might got family members that was just as wicked. Because it was a wicked time. It was a time with a lot of money. It was a time when you can walk in the house and there may be $2 million sitting in the living room, man. And you and your crew got money, but the whole community is poor. It's poor. This is the time and the eras that we live in. The OG, and my OG don't stand for original gangster, it stand for original gentleman. I come and I tell you the stuff that's been going on. Like you get the Philly, and we get the Lex Street murder. So let's look at just a short clipping. Just was it last year? They was mourning the 20 years after the Lex Street massacre. So let's listen to that and we'll come right back.
In West Philadelphia, solemn remembrance of a massacre 20 years ago tonight. Family and friends gathered on Lex Street in the Mill Creek neighborhood to release balloons. That's where 10 people were shot execution style on December 28, 2000. 7 of them died. It's considered the largest mass killing in modern Philadelphia history.
So we covered the Lex Street massacre and an incident that happened, over 20 years ago. And 10 people were shot. 7 people died. The guys ran up in the house, abandoned house that that it was a group of people in hustling. They ran up in the house and laid everybody down on the ground. It was about an argument over a car. But they was also having turf wars at that time. It was a couple shootings back and forth, things that went on. Like I said, there's no love in the game. These dudes knew each other. They got the guys face down on the ground. All right, you got me, man. You robbed me, you got me. Nah, they wanted blood. They shot everybody. Everybody in the house. Killed 7 of them, dead on the scene. Philadelphia's worst mass shooting in the history of Philadelphia. It's 20 years ago. Some of y'all weren't even born. Some of y'all was just knee high to a grasshopper. It was a different world back then. The Alpo and some of these young guys is the last of a dying renegade breed. And a lot of y'all really shouldn't be speaking on it. Y'all should be speaking on the stuff that's going on now and shaming real nigga culture. Because all this stuff that I'm speaking in the past is what you guys inherited. The Lex Street murder was crazy, man. All in all, 6 dudes murdered at the scene. A woman shot in the head too. They all got headshots. She went to the hospital and died in the hospital. Three other people survived the ordeal. You know, then you know, we go back even further, and we go to the Philadelphia Black Mafia, and they was known for killing everything moving, drug dealers, shaking store owners down, threatening city council members, everything. Well, they went in the house in 1973. They went into a home in 1973, man. And they killed a bunch of people. It was a home that was owned by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, mind you, the Philadelphia Black Mafia was big-time heroin dealers in the city. They had a stronghold on the city. Listen, get down leader, anybody, they was going all around the country killing people. Contract killing, they was doing everything. This is a different type of breed of people. There was no honor and love. Listen to me, man. Listen, 7 men convicted of the Hanafi murders. The 7 Philadelphia men were convicted of murder for the deaths of 7 Hanafi Sunni sect Muslims slain in Washington, D.C. from top row to left row. James Price, Theodore Moody, Ronald Harvey, John Clark, Jerome Sinclair, John Griffith, and William Christian. The men were members of the organized crime syndicate and rival Muslim group, the Black Mafia, committed the murders as part of the ideological attack against the Hanafi Muslims. The intended target was Hamas Abdul Khalis, the leader of the Hanafi Muslims, who was not home. Two adults and a child was shot to death. Listen, y'all. And 4 children were drowned. The killing of the 7 Hanafis is the reason the Hanafi Muslims later gave for their takeover of 3 buildings and holdings hostage in Washington, D.C. Now, listen, right? They barged into this home in 1973, right? Because they was having beefs. The Nation of Islam was having beefs with the Hanafi Muslims, right? They killed 2 men. And they shot a child to death. They took the other 4 children and they ran some bath water and they drowned them in the tub. Now, George, why are you saying all of this? Well, I'm saying all of this because I'm here to explain to you, when you hear the story of what Alpo did to Rich and the double crossing, I'm trying to explain to you guys that was the time and the era. That's what went on from the 70s throughout the early 90s. That was the mentality of the illa killers and guerrillas, man. Alpo was just a product of his environment and time. You guys keep thinking that there was honorable and honor in the Devil's Playground. No. You may have had some things that people did with honor here and there, but don't get it fucked up. If you got caught slipping, you was done. People, your family members, anything, man. These dudes of that time and that era was no joke. No joke. They were of a renegade class of a different time. Today, you got kids running around shooting and doing all kinds of wild stuff. These people come in your house and drown your babies. Rape your mom and then kill her. Kill you, pay the money to bury you, and then go sit and hold your mom's hand at the funeral. This is the type of shit that went on back then. And Alpo is a part of that culture. So if you wasn't there, a lot of people got so many videos about this stuff. And I'm like, why are y'all monetizing and speaking on shit that happened 30 years ago from a different type of class of people, man? We should be shaming real nigga culture. We should be shaming the stuff that go on now. Because the big, like me being an OG and a big homie, I come and tell y'all these stories, man, about what went on back before I was born and when I was a kid, just so y'all can know better and do better. Know better and do better. But the Hanafi murders was something serious, man. These dudes got locked up. Ronald Harvey was a stone cold killer, man. They didn't have no breaks. They killed children and everything. I'm telling y'all, I could do more stories like this. A whole lot more. So when people say, oh man, they didn't kill children back in the day. They didn't kill babies. Yes, they did. They was notorious psychopaths back in the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, man. Over money. We didn't have no social media. When the boss gave the order, you didn't ask questions. You just went and cut heads off. That's what they was doing. Look up the Preacher Crew. People like Henry Bolden and all them. Mr. Cuff. The Junior Black Mafia here in Philadelphia. Y'all don't, so I'm going to cut this video short. But they, everybody's sensationalizing Alpo. And you feel bad for Rich. But I feel bad for Donnell, Rich's brother. Rich Porter was a gorilla. That got caught slipping by his homie because he didn't think that it would happen. But that was stuff that happened all the time. Back in those days. Brothers are telling on you. Let me tell you something. Let me end it with this. Brothers are calling the feds on you to get you caught with a package just so you can get locked up so they can take your territory. Brothers will come in, man, listen, and if they couldn't do that, they just come kill you. So it was, everybody keep talking about this no snitch. Motherfuckers been snitching. It's a lie. The best thing that you guys can do is stay away from the game. Stay away from the devil's playground, man. The wages of sin is death. Romans 6:23, man. To be in sin is to be separate from God. Dead spiritually. So if you are in sin, you can't expect morals to come out of it, man. Expect the worst. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share to my George Making Experience. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.